Listen up, Earth Angels. Suppressing your anger makes you ugly, fake, and easy to control, which is weird because you are beautiful, so authentic, and unbossed, unchained. Nobody tells you what to do. You march to the beat of your own drum. So, why are you suppressing your anger? Okay? It's not like you. A beautiful, authentic, uh, free person like you, they don't have to suppress their anger. So what's going on? You afraid? It's okay, I get it. I was talking with Billy this morning. He told me about, he was talking about Zoran Mamdani, who is the mayor of New York. Um, and he's talking about some things he did, and he was like, and he didn't go to some places that other mayors have gone to, and he's like, he's doing a good job, essentially, kind of. And he was saying that, like, he can't show anger. And I didn't really say anything, and he was like, do you like understand why he's not allowed to show anger? And I was like, no. I think Donald Trump is allowed to show anger. The MAGA people are allowed to show anger, right? The Israelis are allowed to show anger. Jewish people who support the Israelis are allowed to show anger. I don't remember, I don't know the guy in Congress, his name, but like the Hebrew heifer, he's the really fat guy who is so violent and racist against Arabs. It's insane. It's this past 2 years, 3 years has just been eye-opening. I've seen lots of people um, expressing anger, and we all have to kind of allow it. I've seen lots of people express anger, and nothing happens to them. So only what? Tucker Carlson, only what's that guy's name? Only I don't want to include Tucker Carlson. I'll include Ben Shapiro. Only Ben Shapiro, only Netanyahu, only Ben Gvir. Oh my God, so many freaking violent, angry Bens. That's something to look at. They're allowed to be angry, but you're not. You have to suppress your anger. But a Zionist, they're allowed to be as angry and rageful and vengeful and indignant as anything. But you have to suppress your anger? Why is that? I know you've been expressing more. You've been expressing your joy. You've been expressing your art, your artistic expression. You have been using your voice. Um, and I feel like you're getting to the point, though, now you're starting to express your shadow, the things that we're taught to hide, to not shed any light on, to have shame about. And anger, I think, is one of those things that we struggle to claim for ourselves. We allow people we don't like, abusers, war criminals, our bosses, our parents, they're allowed to use anger, right? They use anger, and you're still gonna do what they say. You're still gonna go along with it. You're still gonna, allow them to be angry and express themselves as angrily as they want. But you're not going to give yourself that courtesy, that freedom, that space. There's plenty of studies on how women have these really high rates of autoimmune disorders and heart conditions, specifically because they're suppressing their anger. We're taught that that's the man's world. The men are allowed to be as angry as they want. The white people, they're allowed to be as angry as they want. And we all walk around on eggshells trying to not invoke the wrath of some white person, some man, some Zionist, some person who's in some higher up position than us, some authority figure over us. They're allowed to get mad, right? They're allowed to show their anger. They're not out here suppressing their anger. So why are you? You're probably telling yourself, no, if I express my anger, it'll just get so out of control and then I'll get in trouble. And listen, you have done so much work, so much healing. You have found different ways to protect yourself. So, yeah, you might have seen anger modeled as screaming and shouting and being violent and harming people, blowing a gasket, really exploding. And you probably associate anger with something that is done to you. I don't think you give yourself the luxury of anger, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're a Black person. We maybe have these epigenetic traumas of anger. We've maybe only seen anger used against us. And whenever we got angry, it was instantly shut down. They were like, hey, watch your mouth. Hey, don't get hysterical. Calm down. You're getting emotional. Are you on your period? And it's really unfair. It's unfair that when you were a little kid, you had to suppress your anger, even though the adults who should know better, they didn't have to suppress their anger. They were allowed to shout when they were frustrated. They were allowed to hit when they couldn't use their words. But you couldn't. You had to be a good little boy. You had to be a good little girl. You wanted to be obedient. You learned that the more you suppress your anger, the better you will be treated. And so you grew up and you went to work and you found yourself with an angry boss. And still, even though you're an adult now, you find yourself defaulting to what feels comfortable, maybe, which is suppressing your anger, staying quiet, just looking down until the tirade ends and everyone around you is doing the same thing. And you comfort yourself by fantasizing about what you should have said, what I was going to say, what I should have said. And when you're in the shower later going over the thing that happened today, then your anger comes out. Then you start to be like, this bitch. I can't believe they said this. They said this and I was like, F you. F you, I quit. And you could actually just express that. These bosses are so unused to anyone pushing back that they'll allow it. They'll be so surprised. They're like, oh, they'll maybe give you a little talking to, but probably they're going to be so kind of embarrassed at any pushback that they're going to be like, I just want to forget this and never talk about it again. But also, there are lots of ways to express anger, to express rage. I really think ultimately, if we're going to put these on like a scale, a gendered scale, I think anger, rage is actually a very feminine emotion. It's wild. It's unbridled. It's powerful. So, of course, capitalism, colonialism, misogyny wants you to be afraid of the power of anger. They want the men, the white men, the Zionists, they're allowed to use anger. And they do, right? You start to say, hey, I don't like what I'm seeing. Why am I seeing a constant horrific genocide and no one's doing anything about it? What's happening right now? And Zionists will be like, oh, wait a minute. Don't walking on thin ice. Walking on thin ice. And What are you going to do? They are playing on our epigenetic traumas. They're hearkening back to a time when a white person could threaten you. A man could say, "Hey, what are you talking about? What are you saying? What'd you say, boy?" And you had to back down for fear of violence. That is not the time we live in. And even if it were, we're not doing that anymore. Our ancestors suppressed their anger. Our ancestors kept it inside. And it probably contributed to a premature, preventable demise. They took their anger to the grave. Are you going to do that? They did it, so you don't have to. You're the ancestor who speaks. You're the ancestor who says, nah, this ends with me. You're not going to treat me this way. I'm not going to tolerate this. This behavior is not okay. You get indignant. You speak up. Maybe you're like me, and when you were at work, something happened, and you were just like, I can't stay silent. I will not stand for this. I'm angry that they're playing in my face, actually. I'm angry that they're trying to make us all, pretend to be happy employees who everything's great, everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. No one's being dragged off by militarized police. No, no one's being suppressed. No, everything's good. And maybe you were like me and you were just like, what the hell is happening? I'm angry. I'm angry that you guys expect me to just go on as usual as genocide continues unabated. So, I'm lucky. Like, something about the younger versions of me knew I should probably get certified as a lawyer where anger, righteous anger, is a very powerful rhetorical and, persuasive tool. The Israelis use it, the Zionists use it, the white people use it. What did that man say? The guy who's in charge of the military or whatever, Pete Hegseth. He said the US negotiates with bombs. I love that everything is coming to the light, and just, what used to be done in shadow, now we can see everything is unveiled, everything is on the table. And so the US is allowed to negotiate with bombs. Is Iran? Are the Iranians? Are the Palestinians? The US is allowed to rain down bombs and wreak havoc and just spread carnage wherever they go. Are their victims allowed to be angry? They certainly would be justified in being angry. If someone did to Americans a scintilla, I think that's a word, of what the Americans have meted out, we'd be in trouble. Americans, my fellow Americans. Okay? So, anyway, all that to say, the divine does not want the power of anger to be wielded solely by men, by white people, by Zionists. The divine wants you to wield it. That's why they sent me, to remind you that, like, oof, man, like when violence and carnage is going around and then there's like a love and light ass bitch. This message is actually for the dark empath, not the regular empath, the colonized empath who, all of the injustice and horrors going on, and they're just like, I just want to not look at it, and it just makes me sad. Ooh, an empath who gets sad and not furious, colonized. A dark empath is embracing their shadow, embracing their rage. They know their rage is righteous. They know their rage changes laws. They know their rage saves people, rescues people. Their rage stops injustice. So yeah, I hate when like a colonized empath is just all like, oh, I gotta love and light. Listen, I'm about love and light, but it's like a tough love, okay? I'm about light, but it's like a laser beam. It's a lightning strike from the gods, okay? It's here to shake the earth. It's here to blind you. Because, yeah, rage, anger, being furious is actually the appropriate response to your rights being taken away, to, you know, the powers that were expecting you to just take it endlessly. Whatever they do, you gotta back down. You don't wanna, I don't wanna, they don't wanna see you angry. So why are you gonna give them the courtesy of not letting them see you angry? I wanna see you angry. I'm proud of you. I'm gonna be rooting for you. When I yelled at my boss, and I didn't even yell at him, I just, as the brilliant cutting lawyer that I am, I articulated decisively all of these points about why this man was acting inappropriate and violent, and I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to stand for it. And as I kept talking, the guy, he kept cutting me off. He kept trying to mute my mic, and I would like, it would fill me with more rage each time he was trying to make me suppress myself, make me pretend that I was happy and lighthearted. I'm like, I am angry, I am furious, I am fiery, I'm hot with rage. And you know what I felt? I felt my ancestors behind me, like, rubbing my shoulders, like, you got it, girl. You right, yup. Ooh, like Key and Peele, like Obama's anger translator, who's just like, ooh, I've been waiting for this. That's who I am. That's who I am for Billy, I think, too. Like, he is still, like healing his wounds around expressing anger. He has this fear of, he doesn't want to be, like an angry black man. You think I'm worried about being an angry black woman? That is exactly what I am. I'm angry. I'm upset that people assume they will not be moved by my anger, that they can just ignore me. So I'm just gonna like, oh, no use being angry. Nothing's gonna happen. Not me. My anger is like what do you call that? A wildfire, a tsunami, a landslide. It will change the world. It will topple the structures. It will uproot anything that is not rooted in love and truth and purity and beauty, okay? Man, when I hear somebody like suppressing their anger when they should be loud about it, I'm just like, ugh, oh, come on. Have some respect for yourself. You look ridiculous. When I see someone suppressing their anger, and I'm like, you should be enraged. Why are you faking it? Why are you faking the funk? For this person who's making you angry? Please. They don't deserve your decorum. They don't deserve your, what do you call it? Measuredness, your equanimity, your calm. And suppressing your anger makes you easy to control. All those people who are just doing whatever Donald Trump tells them, doing whatever Netanyahu tells them, doing whatever their like shitty boss tells them, they probably chit chat at the water cooler. Ah, the boss, oh, so annoying, I hate it. But like when the boss comes around, they're like, oh, hey boss, how are you? suppressing their anger. So then they do whatever they're told. They facilitate slavery, they commit genocide just because they're suppressing their anger. Anyway, I've delivered the message. Let me know what you think, okay? Like, comment, subscribe. I love you so much. And I'll talk to you, Earth Angels, later, okay? Love you.